Hi guys, so today we'll be reading in Psalm 35. In Psalm 35, we will discover who can be truly a friend, because we know a friend when we are when we are in affliction, when we're afflicted. Those people who actually pray for us, the people who actually are there for us, that's how we know they are friends or they are enemies. So in the case of David, in Psalm 35, David was saying, in verse 1, he said, "Plead my cause, O Lord, with those who strive against me. Fight against those who fight against me." So David was asking the Lord to fight against the people who were fighting him. And in verse 11, he called them false witnesses. He said, "False witnesses rise up, rise up. They ask me things that I do not know. They reward me evil for good, to the sorrow of my soul." So these people who were fighting against David, they were also false witnesses. They were asking him things that he did not know, just for the ruin of David. But in verse 13, David said, "But for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled myself with fasting, and my prayer would return to my own heart." So this is the thing that David did as a good friend, right? When the person who has risen himself against him, when the person was sick, David would pray for them, will fast for them. He will humble himself before God because of this friend or brother. So this is how we know if somebody is a good friend of us. Because when we're in trouble, they'll pray for us, they'll fast for us, they will be there to encourage us, right? They will seek God's face for us. They will plead before God on our behalf. However, this person, what happened? David said in verse 14, said, I paced about as though he were my friend and my brother. I bowed down heavily as one who mourns for his mother. But in my adversity, they rejoiced and gathered together. So, and attackers gathered against him. So now when David was in adversity, the people who he used to pray for and fast for, they were now his enemy. They were like mocking him. They gathered together not to encourage him, but to mock him. And they feasted together for his ruin. He says in verse 16, he said they gnashed their teeth. So that's how you know who is a good friend.